Howdy howdy class, we are going to put in some cabinets into my kitchen in Revit for the Habitat for Humanity house. It's kind of a putsy progress, so I'm going to pause and start the video a few times as I go through. First thing I want to do is load in all the cabinets. I typically, when I'm doing this project, load in everything. So just for the record, I clicked on up here in the corner, Architecture tab, Component, and then I went to Load in Family. Cabinets are considered casework. I'm going to load in all of the base cabinets. So starting with this one, holding Shift, I'm going to go down to the load. I'm just going to load them all in. The vanity ones are ones that you might want to bring in for your bathrooms. I probably wouldn't load all those in. Just select the one that you want and bring that in when you need it. So now that I have all of the components loaded into the program, I'm just going to select the ones. I like to start with the angled one that's going to be in the corner. And I'm just going to look at all the base cabinet, 4 drawers, built-in, here it is, 36-inch. Hitting the space bar will rotate it around. I'm going to have it be in this position, and I'm just going to kind of drop it in place. This is a great time to review this Align tool. It's a great tool. Click on the Align tool, click where I want it, click what I want to move, lock it in place. Click where I want it, click what I want to move, lock it in place. So that cabinet is in place. I'm just going to go ahead and bring in some of the other ones that I know that I'm going to want to have. And at this point I'm going to pause the video, bring in all kinds of cabinets, and then I will position them once I have them in. As I was bringing in another component here, I remembered something that I wanted to say. I'm going to find a 4-drawer unit. I want it to be 21 inches. When I bring that in, right where the crosshair is on the cabinet, that's always the back. So right now the back of the cabinet is facing the room. Now the back of the cabinet is facing left. Now the back of the cabinet is facing this wall. I'm going to put this one eventually on that wall. So I'm just going to kind of set it right here for now so it's close to where I want it to be. But when I hit spacebar, the back of the cabinet is where the crosshair is. Alright, I do have all of the cabinets I'm going to use in just kind of a random location. I know what they are, so I'm going to put them into place real quick. I do need to load in 2 more items. I really like the ones that we made personally. If you didn't load in this Malum Revit family folder, you should move that. I showed you how to do that earlier in the course. There's a kitchen and appliances in that folder, and I really like that refrigerator. So I'm going to bring that refrigerator in. It's got to update. Again, I can spin it around, put the refrigerator right there, and I am going to go find in the same folder, which is the Malum Revit family folder, kitchen, appliances. There is a stove, there it is, that I like quite well, and it's updating the stove. I can spin the stove around here, same way, hitting the space bar, and put my stove right there. Alright, a lot of Align tool at this point. So I'm going to take this cabinet, go with Align. I want it over on the wall, click this edge, lock it in place. Align tool, and click here, click this edge, lock it in place. Go with my stove, click right here, click the back edge of the stove, lock it in place. Locking them in place is just going to kind of, if I were to move this wall at this point, everything's going to kind of stay right where it should be. I am not going to align the edges of this cabinet with my stove. I'm just going to move this down so that we have a little gap. That makes it easier to put the stove in and out if and when you should ever go to clean or anything like that. So I'm not going to put that super close. I am going to put my refrigerator on this wall. And again, I'm not going to get it super duper close here. Or I'm not going to align it. I'm just going to move it down so that it's close. There we go. So this cabinet's kind of just hovering in there. Same thing, I'm going to use the Align tool along this wall. I think you get the process at this point. So I'm going to hit pause and do the rest of them. Now that I have all of the cabinets in place, you can see that there's this unusual gap at the end. If I go into 3D mode, try to get a quick view for what my house looks like right now. There's my kitchen with the cabinets that I put in. I don't have a countertop yet, but there's this unusual gap at the end. I'm going to fix that right now by loading in. Actually, it's already loaded in, sorry. By selecting what's called the filler strip. And then you can see how that works. There it is, base cabinet filler. And it's just a strip that's going to kind of fit in that spot here in just a second. I'm just going to pop it right there on the floor. Go back into my 2D plan. There it is. We're going to drag it down there. Same thing that I did before. Use the align tool. I'm going to align those edges. Ooh, did not like that. Let's move it over a little further. Maybe just make it a little bit more narrow. There we go. Let's try to align this edge first. And then I can align these edges, click where I want, click what I want to move. I can't quite see where the other edge is at this point, so I'm going to slide it in there. And align one more time, click what I want, click where I want to move, lock it in place. So I put that filler strip in on the end. If I go to view 3D now, it's backwards. And now that I turned it around, the filler strip is in there the right way, so cabinets actually look like cabinets. I can do the exact same thing that I just did with some upper cabinets. When I load in the upper cabinets, I'm going to kind of position and align them so that they look nice. It's just kind of a putsy project, figuring out which ones go where and how you want to align them. So I'm once again going to hit pause. You can do this at your own pace. The upper cabinets, when I take a look at them, I'm going to load them all in first. It's still considered casework. Go to all of the wall cabinets, and I'm just going to bring them all in. And again, I kind of like to build from the corner out. So I'm going to find the upper cabinet that is a corner piece, which is this one right here. And these don't show up in the program until you're near a wall. And once you're near a wall, then they kind of show up because it needs to be mounted to the wall for it to work out. So there, I put my corner one in. I'll use the align tool to get that one officially in place. And then I am just going to bring in other tall cabinets. This is what it looks like right now, by the way. There's my upper cabinet in place. And I'm just going to bring in some other cabinets to fill out these upper spots on my wall so that it looks really nice once it's all done. This is the kitchen sink area. Some drawers, tall shelves. It'll look nice when it's done. Alright, pause time. One of the things that I still need to do in this one is put my countertop on. So I am going to go to Architecture, Component, Load in Family. It's still under Casework, Countertops. And I prefer this one to work with. So I'm going to open that and load it in. Hitting the spacebar will rotate it around. If you can't quite get this to fit where you want it to fit, you can do some things with the mirror tool to get it to mirror over an axis. Sometimes you have to play around a little bit to get that to happen. But I am again going to use the align tool to get this as close as I can to where I would like it to be permanently. So go over here to this wall, select that, select what I want to move, and it pulled that over to the wall. Go down here to this wall, select where I want it, what I want to move, and that lines up on that wall. I still need to get it over here, so click where I want, what I want to move. My cabinet now goes all the way over to there. And I can't quite see where the end of it is. The end of it's way up here. I want it to end way down there, so I'm going to select the edge of my stove here, and then this end of the countertop way up there. So now those are aligned. If I were to view, my countertop should be, for the most part, in place around my stove. It looks pretty nice. My sink is not where I need the sink to be at all, though. So you can move that around, mostly by playing with some of the arrows that you have here. So there are some very specific arrows that are going to let you move where the sinkhole is. And I'm going to play with that for just a second here, and then we'll get back. Sorry about that. This is a Revit 2018 update. To move the sink around, when you used to click on it, there'd be little arrows that would allow you to move it around. Now it's over here in this menu bar. If I go down, I can get to one of these options that says sink location. And you can see if I type in a different number like 5 and hit apply, it's getting closer to where I want it. So this is just going to be one of those play with a little bit, or you could actually dimension and figure out the exact location where you would like that sink. And I'm just going to get it so it's kind of centered in front of my window. That's going to be close enough for us. I do actually need to put a sink in there, and I have one little countertop that I still need to put in. So I'm going to go to component and load in just a regular countertop. This one's going to be super easy. Just grab one like this. That is your regular countertop. We'll put that regular countertop right on top. Spacebar will rotate it. And this is going to be a case where the align tool saves us tremendous amounts of time. Boom. This other edge. Boom. And then I'm just going to align it to the back wall. And we should have that countertop in. Beautiful. And then I'm going to go grab myself a sink and put the sink in, and I should be done. So I did find a kitchen sink. I found that in architecture component. I loaded in a family, went down to plumbing, and in the plumbing section under fixtures there are sinks. So I got the sink and I put it in. It's right here. If I notice, it is backwards from the way that I would like it to be. So there is this rotate tool. You get the rotate tool, and I'm just going to click there, rotate it 180 degrees, and now it's the right way. I can just drag it into place, and it's almost there. This is where I would like my sink to be. You'll notice it's going to look really funny when I look at it in the 3D. That is because the hole underneath the sink is smaller than the sink. And kind of just like what I did before, where when I click on the countertop, I can adjust that sink opening right here to make that be whatever I would like it to be. I want my opening to be 42 inches. And then I might have to change the location a little bit to line it back up. So we'll just fix that and move it so that the sink is in the right spot, and everything should look good. And like I said, putting in the cabinets is just really putsy, but it looks like I have everything in place now. I did notice one more thing now that I have my cabinets in place in the house. My window that I put in this one is actually dropping down just a little bit below where the sink is, so I might want to change my window size to be more like 36 by 24 maybe. That's going in the wrong direction. But I'm going to want to change my window size, the location of where it is in the house. There's a couple of ways I can do that. So the easiest way is when I'm looking at where my window height is. It says where the sill height is. It's 3 feet from the ground. I'm just going to make my sill height be 3, 4. And that should change that bottom location of where the sill height is to where it's actually not below the sink line. Not quite there yet. 3, 6. And that's much better. And if I think that my window is too high now, I can make it into a custom window even by going to edit height or type. I don't want all the windows in my house to look like this, so I just renamed it. I can adjust the height of it